Now, here is the precursor. Couple things. First and foremost, you cannot interrupt the person that has the microphone and the floor and is making their point. Deal?
Tank. Can't point.
Yo, don't even start with me, Fritos. Don't even start.
And I will give you some backstory as I introduce our topic. So, who is that? See?
Why did you do that?
You didn't tell what was going on, bro. He did that with a straight face. Like, what is this? What is life right now?
Nonchalantly.
Flipped it up like this. All right. So. I am having a great debate with a close friend of mine. He's one of my best friends here in Petersburg, where I reside. And we are talking about the retirement of Sting, also Steve Borden. I tell him that to me, Sting does not belong on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Sting was always the guy working with the guy, helping about another guy get over or stay over. But to me, Sting does not belong on the Mount Rushmore. He in turn listed off 10 wrestlers that he said belonged on Mount Rushmore ahead of whom I receive as one of the GOATs of wrestling and does belong on a spot on Mount Rushmore. David, stop looking at me, bro. I tried to intro this, but he just waiting on it. He gonna cuss me out immediately. I believe John Cena belongs on Mount Rushmore above Steve.
Bye, Tank.
And he's gone.
Now we can really podcast.
So today's topic is this. Who deserves to be on Mount Rushmore more, John Cena or Sting? And I'm not going to start with David. I'm not going to start with Tank. I'm going to make Tank hold his peace. And I'm going to go around the room and talk to everybody else. And remember, you cannot interrupt anybody. I'm going to start. This is torture for Tank, I promise y'all. I'm going to start with Big Daddy C. What are your thoughts?
Come back to me.
Okay. Fritos, what do you got for me?
Yeah, it's got to be Cena. I mean,
hey, let's go, Fritos. Let's go. You hit me. Let's go. Why?
I mean, I started out with Cena, so I mean, I didn't really watch Sting till a little bit later on, you know, with the WWE Network, with all the YouTube, watching the clips. Cena was just something I grew up with. So for me, he's the reason why I kind of almost got into wrestling, you know, with the I'm John Cena slapping Kurt Angle, going into the Dr. Thugonomics to his current state. It's just someone I grew up with, and just his records alone, his promo skills. I mean, he could bring someone up or he could tear them down so quickly. And just kind of who he is outside the ring with his, the Make-A-Wish Foundation being the number one. So to me, just all of that, he deserves to be in the conversation for GOAT.
That be him. He be the GOAT. He be the GOAT. Well, no, it's not your turn. You wait.
No, it's just a question. It's a question. It's an actual question. Are we? Quit making me laugh. Quit making me laugh, Virgil. Are we keeping it wrestling only, or person behind the character?
Wrestling only.
Okay. So, okay.
All right, Coach, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Fritos on that one. I think that Cena deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore as was. I mean, you kind of said it yourself there, Virgil. He was always the guy helping the other guy that was or anything like that. I mean, no, Sting was kind of the background guy for a lot of those matches. I mean, if you look at the WCW matches when it was him and Lex Luger versus the NWO, it was more the focus was on Luger, and at that point, while they were fighting Hall and Nash, and then Hogan coming out betraying everybody. And then you look at Cena, he's been a part of so many memorable moments in wrestling. And I'm not just talking about the main eventing with The Rock 2 years in a row, just matches. Even when he lost the matches, he still mentioned in them, like Punk pipe bomb promo. I mean, he lost to R-Truth through a table, but everyone remembers seeing Cena lying there on the in broken table while Punk's dropping that promo. So, honestly, you don't really remember Sting. You just remember Sting kind of falling or coming. That's really the only big moment for Sting, even though he's had a long career. And if we talk about the popularity of wrestling going up, it's again, you got to go with Cena on that one. I can see Tank's holding it, trying.
Okay. Big Daddy C, it is your time. You have the floor.
Personally, neither of these two are on my Mount Rushmore, but that's not the question.
Who gets it more?
Who deserves it more? Oh God, man, Devin, don't hate me, man. It's Cena. It's Cena.
Hey, let's go! Oh,
it's Cena, man.
Let's go! And it always been Cena, and I've been telling
it's
you.
And I say that because I'm not even gonna sit up here and hype Cena. I'm just gonna go as to why Sting does not deserve to be on Mount Rushmore. So always, when I think of Sting, like I said, I'd never really watched WCW. I was always WWE guy, like WWF. So like I didn't really care for WCW or much less Sting. Now TNA Sting is different. So when I think of Sting, I automatically think of TNA because of his tenure there. He's with TNA the longest. So I feel like when I think about, I know it's a total wrestling Mount Rushmore, but when we think of Mount Rushmore, we mostly thinking about WWE guys. Like we're not thinking about guys that wrestled in TNA or AEW or WCW. We're really not thinking about those guys. Like I know Flair was in WCW, but when we think about Flair, you know, his stuff started before WCW. So like, but with Sting, I never really considered him like a pillar like of WWE or a pillar of wrestling, I would say. I never considered him that. So that's why I would say just by default, in terms of who's done more for their respective company, I feel like Cena has done a lot more and contributed a lot more with WWE than Sting. And so that's why I feel like he deserves more. But I'm not going to hype him up like you want us to, Mike. So I'm just going to keep it at that. We can't even hear you, bro.
Yo, I'm so glad this dude's muted right now.
Can't even hear you now, bro. Yeah. The podcast guys knew. They knew.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. Oh.
I did the best I could, Devin. I had to say why Sting didn't deserve it more so as to why Cena deserved it. I'll let you handle the Cena bashing. Still can't hear you, Mike.
Still can't hear you, Virgil.
Yeah, well, Virgil, yeah.
Necessarily thinking that's a bad thing.